And welcome back. Just a little before 10 o'clock on this Saturday morning. We have been out with you driving around since 6 o'clock this morning when we started our coverage here on 11 Alive News and 11 Alive Plus. We have a team of meteorologists that are going to be with you throughout the day today as we're tracking the snow that is moving in. And talk about snow, take a look at what we have up here. We have been up in Rabun County, now crossing over into parts of, okay, there's a snowplow. Y'all see that on the other side of the road? All right, we just caught that there, snowplow just on the other side of the road there that is going northbound from Tallulah Gorge up toward the Clayton area. And we have seen a few of those snowplows coming in, and they really helped that side of the road. If you can see that northbound side there, compare that to what we are doing right now on the southbound side, and we're pretty much having to kind of ride in the tracks of the cars that have gone before us here. And what we've been seeing is those snowplows have been coming northbound and then southbound again, just kind of going back and forth, kind of keeping these roads a little bit clean here. Now, Stephen Boise is driving our weather impact tracker right now, and it's interesting as you're driving a vehicle, you can kind of feel the differences in the consistency of the snow, where this is becoming, he said, it even looks this way too, a little more slushy. Every once in a while we've been sliding around a little bit on this, but that's when we like want to turn or make a U-turn to go the other way when we cross over there. But if we stay in these tracks, we're just having to go really slow there so that we don't get stuck up here. Again, we just crossed the bridge where Tallulah Gorge is. We're now headed kind of back up a hill. What we're going to do is, the last time we were here in the Tallulah Gorge area as we were going northbound, the roads weren't as covered as they are now. So we're seeing the difference of how much this snow has made a difference on the roads just really in the past 45 minutes or so. We're going to keep going south because we've been kind of staying up here in this area of Rabun County for a while, where we knew that the roads would be slicker. We knew the snow would be heavier here. We still have a good bit of snow coming down. You can see those snow flurries as they're coming in. This is our camera on the roof of our vehicle, and you can see how some of that snow is getting stuck on the lens there. And this is through the windshield. So we're going to start going southward and pretty much stay going southward since we've shown you what all's happening up here in Rabun County. But we want to give you a perspective now as this snow is pushing down closer to the metro area. We're going to go down toward Demarest and continue on toward Gainesville along 985 to see how things are looking as we get closer. Now this is interesting. This is a little bit more. They must have just scraped this right here. Where the plows have been going kind of northbound and southbound there, and you can see how that's kind of helped the conditions right now up here, again, just south of the Tallulah Gorge. We're now going to enter into Habersham County and keep going southward, and we're going to keep reporting live for you here from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Tracker. You know, we were making these plans of our coverage earlier this week, and on Thursday, our boss and I were talking. I'm like, can I be in the truck Saturday morning? Because I really want to go out and see what it is that we have been forecasting, see the impacts firsthand of this. And what we've been saying all along is that northeast Georgia and east of Atlanta would see the worst impacts. But Chesley, as you know, we're seeing some impacts in metro Atlanta. And again, folks west of the city, not seeing as much, but north and east of the city, this is what we've got going on here.
Yep. And you know, I don't want to put you to work. But I have these questions all the time, you know, since you're out there.
Do it.
All right, so.
I'm here to work. Go for it.
You're up there at a higher elevation than we are. And so you said that your snow was a little bit thicker. You had a little bit more moisture to it. I know down here, we just saw Ariana's shot. She picked up some snow. It was more powdery. So I want you to see if you can, and it may have you make a couple stops. As you come south, get out and test it and find out where that line is, where you got the fluffy stuff and then the powdery stuff. And so try to find out where that line is in elevation, right?
When we were able to get out of the vehicle a few minutes ago, even what's on the road seems a little more slushy and wet, but it's when we got out and actually picked up snow in our gloves there, that even though it seems wetter on the roads here, because those ground surfaces were warmer and the initial layer of snow that came down melted, and then now snow's going on top of that, and that's causing that initial layer down below that to freeze up there. So that's why on the road it's slushy, but when we got out earlier, and felt that snow, and I tried to compress it into a snowball. It still wouldn't really do it. So it is still that dry, powdery stuff here. But it is going to be interesting to see, Chesley, when you're talking about those elevations. We are at higher elevations. As we come down a little bit more, that moisture content most likely is going to change in the snow and the structure of that snow too. So yeah, when we get down a little bit lower and a little bit closer to you, I definitely want to test that out to see if that moisture content's a little bit different, or if it's more of a blowing like snow grains versus these have been some pretty good flakes. Even just in the past couple of minutes as we've been leaving Rabun County, still some snowflakes that are a pretty good size, but I actually have been seeing those snowflakes shrink up a little bit more compared to what we were having up to the north.
Last question for you real quick, and we'll go away from you. Look, you were up a little higher a little while ago. The roads didn't have much traction, or at least tire tracks, where now it's kind of spread out. Do you think those roads up there were untreated or just hadn't been plowed yet? Or do you think you're coming down where it's a little bit warmer now?
Well, that's interesting because as Stephen and I were driving up the road, we could tell on 985, you could see those brine marks pretty much on the road where you can almost see the salty brine mixture on the road. As we were getting up here, I do think that this road was treated up to the north, but we did kind of see those brine marks disappearing, and we're like, wait a minute, I can't tell if this road is treated or not. I do think that it was because the cars are able to navigate this road, the main road, better than those side roads. And I think when people got off of those side roads, it was a much different experience than on this main road. So I do think that they were treated based on what we could see and just based on how things are kind of shaping up here on these roads. However, Chesley, as you know, the brine mixture lowers the freezing point of the water. So that kind of delays the roads getting slick. But now we have the rate of snow falling on that is going to add more coldness to that. And so I do think that we'll start to see things slickening up. And as I did a little bit earlier, where I was able to kind of scrape off the powder of the road, there is that layer underneath that is really slick. So we're going 25 to 30 miles an hour right now, really slow up here. And I think just as long as you don't get, bold or cocky and think you can do it, as long as you're going slow, it's navigatable right now. Okay, there goes a truck passing us now. It's a little bit heavier than our vehicle. We are just being extra careful, and other folks are maybe being a little bit bolder. I think another vehicle is about to pass us. Stephen, is one coming up on the right? Okay. I'm seeing some cars in my window on the side here behind us. And they may not be happy because we're going so slow, but we're trying to be extra careful and not get too bold and take any chances here on these roads. Because all it takes is just slipping and, okay, somebody is about to come past us here in another vehicle. Let's see if that's that's a Jeep. I can't tell if it's a four-wheel drive, one of the little smaller SUV Jeeps there. So anyway, being extra careful on these roads here because that's what we're telling people to do.
All right.
Oh gosh, did that truck just kind of spin out right there on the other side? You see that on the other side?
Yeah, I do.
So that truck just spun out.
Oh, wow.
And hit that little thing in the middle there. So that was going northbound, and that looked like a four-wheel drive pickup there too.
Oh yeah,
so
probably going too fast.
That just goes to show you got to be careful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we just have to be careful on these roads, and that's why we're being extra careful here, Chess.
Absolutely. All right, so bear with us, folks. The scientist in us wants to know, and so Chris is out there testing it for us, and we'll check back in him in just a little while. We've been looking at this shot right here. This is Midtown, and our Georgia Tech camera. You can see where the snow is coming down. Nicole and I were looking at these surfaces here, saying, "Okay, is that collecting?" We're going to zoom in here and take a look. It looks like a tennis court. Nicole thinks it may be grass. We're going to test that out as well. It's the scientist in us, folks. We just want to know. And you probably want to know from her, where is it snowing right now? She has a look at it on the radar. Hey, Nicole.
Yes, so we've got varying conditions across the state. In some spots, especially northeast of the city, that's where we've seen the more persistent, much heavier rainfall, or not rainfall, snowfall. Meanwhile, a lot of us up this I-75 corridor, including the Atlanta Metro, are picking up on some flurries, but maybe not necessarily accumulating snowfall yet. The heaviest band of snow at this point is up further closer to the South Carolina border as you get into Toccoa, and then also some very heavy snowfall currently taking place, really stretching from Lawrenceville out towards Winder and then down to Monroe, where we've got some of that kind of moderate to heavy snow falling. These showers are shifting eastward, so snow is starting to pick up in the Athens area, and you've probably got at least another hour, 2 hours as this band of snowfall moves through for those locations. Now, a lot of the heavier snow is still up towards the northeast, and that's really really where the focus has been of accumulating snowfall. But we're still seeing some lighter snow showers that extend west of the city through Douglas County up towards Dallas, as well as Cobb County, and even into the metro where we've got flurries ongoing. This is our view right now in Midtown at Georgia Tech. Snow has really picked up. Those flurries are certainly more frequent in nature, but the ground temperatures, at least through the city, are still too warm to warrant anything sticking to the ground just yet. That'll change pretty quickly, though. Once the snow starts falling, our ground temperatures drop pretty fast. In Rome right now, those flurries are light, but we're starting to see some of those sticking to the ground as well. And then a totally different story out towards Dahlonega, where we've seen multiple inches of snow accumulation already. So we're going to keep this going with the focus of the most widespread snow, the heaviest snow really northeast of this city, but we'll continue to watch as these showers make their way down towards the south. Eventually, these will start to clear out from west to east as we go through the afternoon. So as we approach the sunset, especially, things will start to clear out of here in the way of snowfall, and we'll bring back some clearer conditions into tonight. Snow potential still looks the highest up towards the northeast, where we're talking widespread totals of about 1 to 3 inches. Some localized spots could see 4, 5, even 6 inches of accumulation. Through the metro, we'll be lucky to see a dusting to maybe an inch of snow accumulation, and that's the case for the I-75 corridor as well. As further west you go, less likely you are to see accumulating snowfall. Temperatures are also going to be a big story today and into tomorrow. It is already cold out there. We're in the 20s across the Atlanta metro. We're into the teens up into far north Georgia. When you factor in wind, it already feels like the teens. And overnight tonight, that truly cold air settles in. So we've got extreme cold warnings in place across North Georgia as actual air temperatures fall down into the teens and the single digits. Feels like temperatures are going to be below zero across much of the area. So it is a bitter cold, a dangerous cold into tonight and tomorrow morning. And with this extended period of below freezing temperatures, it also becomes a little more likely that we see some pipes burst across North Georgia. So it's a good idea to drip those pipes into tonight and tomorrow morning especially. We should be able to just barely warm above freezing tomorrow afternoon across metro Atlanta, but some spots outside the city are going to stay below that freezing point through at least Monday morning. Stick around. We'll have more weather coverage coming up after the break.